Hey, good morning. It's Friday, April 8th. Thanks so much for being here today. We've come to this portion in the study of looking at our purpose, our eternal purpose, where we've come to single people. We've looked at families, we've looked at parents, we've looked at grandparents, and now we've got this understanding of single people. And I think it's an area where we need to do a better job of just helping understand what God meant in creation. Because God did not create married people, single people. He created men and women. He created men and women to fulfill the creation mandate. And both men and women have all the capacity that's needed to do that. Not all folks will take advantage of all of that capacity. We've been limited in some way. That doesn't mean that they can't fulfill the mandate given by God to Adam and Eve. When I was a younger guy, a long time ago, I was in a church Sunday school class, and the name of the Sunday school class was Spares and Pairs. Spares and Pairs. Not a very welcoming title. If you were a single person, you were a spare and obviously a problem. You needed something, you weren't right yet. That's not what God designed us to do. Not to think about it that way. God created men and women, whether they're married or single, to carry out and fulfill the creation mandate, to occupy and control the earth for the glory of God. That's what God's calling us to. All of us, whether we're married or single. We have that purpose to fulfill the glorious creation mandate to occupy and fill the earth for the glory of God. Just because you're not married doesn't mean that you don't get involved in that aspect of creation. All of us, men and women, have the capacity to be honoring God in the way that He called us to. Not all of us will be married, but all of us have that capacity to do that. So a single woman has the capacity to nurture, the capacity to help, the capacity to understand for relationship. Men have that capacity for loyalty and for growth, for strength, to protect, to honor, to fight out, find out evil and attack it. The fruit of the Spirit is no less valuable for married folks or single folks. It's equally valuable for both. So what God's called us to do in this environment is to be about bringing honor to His name. Single folks have the ability, being not connected to a family, where they have mobility, they have flexibility. They can work in ways that married couples can't. It doesn't cancel out who and what they are. It doesn't make them less valuable or unimportant. Some people we read in the Bible, God specifically calls the singleness for a particular task. Other folks, they may make that choice if they think that's the best way for them to honor God. But if we get married for selfish reasons because this is what I want, that's no better than staying single because this is what I want. See, God hasn't called us to selfishness. What's happened in our culture is as marriage has been degraded and devalued and not deemed essential, biblical marriage, not deemed essential for carrying on the generations and the culture the way that God directed. Single people seem to think and have been told, hey, you can do whatever you want. Marriage isn't for you. You find whatever you want. You get involved in whatever you want. Because you're not married. See, that's ignoring what God's called us to be. And that type of a life is not fulfilling. You know, I've been single a couple times in my life for long periods. This last time for coming up on 9.5 years, 8.5 years, sorry, since Ruth died. So I've got a period of singleness in my life at the end of my life. And if I lose sight of what God's called me to do, I lose a sense of purpose. So whether you're my age or whether you're 28 or 38 or 15 or 42 or whatever it is, you've got to be concerned about the purpose of God, married or single. Married folks and single folks can work together on developing the fruits of the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit within us. We can work together in terms of supporting each other, supporting families, and families supporting single folks. Because it's not about whether you're married or single. It's about, are you in service to the glory and honor of God? That's the common bond that needs to draw us together. We've created so many problems because we have tried to create an entire culture based upon singleness rather than bringing honor to God. Just because you're married doesn't make it easier to honor God. There's a great challenge in being married. Just because you're single doesn't make it harder to honor God, because God saved us both for His purpose and His honor. Singleness is something that God gives to us for bringing honor to His name. For some of us, it may be for a lifetime. For some of us, it may be for a short season. But it's still a gift. Jesus says it's a gift. Paul says it's a gift. Matthew 19, 1 Corinthians 7. These are gifts that God gives. And it's up to us, as we pursue His purpose, that's what gives us peace and contentment. One thing, however, the single lifestyle does not embrace is sex. God's reserved that for marriage. And you know what that means, that we're going to do a video on the purpose and meaning of sex. And that's coming up. But the next video, I want to talk specifically about a couple of branches of singleness, single mothers. Some of the difficulties of being single when you were married. Some of the frustrations of wanting to be married, but still remaining single. We'll talk about those in the next video. Thanks so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to be with you. If you haven't subscribed, turn on post notifications. These videos will come right to you. Check us out, everydaytalk247.com. Love your feedback and support. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.